Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey man, what's going on? What's wrong with people? Does Andre Ward and Tim Bradley talk too much? Should they shut up? To that I say, in the most respectful way, to the boxing fans out there hating on Tim Bradley and hating on Andre Ward, hey yo, hold your horses and quit taking it to the stupid. Andre Ward and Tim Bradley got busy. Those are two fighters who really did the business. I don't understand how people could come out here and get frustrated with Andre Ward and Tim Bradley. Like, let me tell you something, man. I understand some of these boxers and their personalities, and I have a couple of them where I'm like, yo, this dude don't need to talk. But Andre Ward and Tim Bradley, what did they do? I'll tell you what. If Andre Ward gets criticized by boxing fans about his commentary, then, you know, there's no hope for any boxer out there who retires and decides to get into commentating. There's no hope for you. That just means you just can't make people happy. You know what? Just do what you got to do. Forget these boxing fans, because that shit tripped me out, man. I said, damn, y'all want me to do a video about them? Y'all feel they talk too much? Of course, I disagreed, and then all of a sudden they were like, your channel ain't shit. You don't know what you're talking about, Hood Champion. You don't know nothing about boxing. What? Oh, they said, you don't know shit about boxing. They hit me with the Roger Mayweather. And Tim Bradley, talking about Tim Bradley's a clown. He's always out here acting the fool. I'm like, what's wrong with his personality? He got a sense of humor. I know I do. I'm always making jokes on my channel. If we're not laughing, we're not living, people. Stop being crabs in the goddamn barrel. But let's correct the record. Andre Ward, gold medalist, undefeated, unified champion. Man went to that Super 6 before any of these big, huge tournaments. That man was the one that went out there, the first big tournament that was put on, that Super 6, man. Beat everybody in there. Forget y'all say, oh, he didn't beat Kovalev. That first fight, you know. I don't know, Ward may have got away with one in that first fight, you know what I'm saying? He may have dodged a bullet. But the second time he fought him, he did the business. But the bottom line, he retired on top, man. But see, this is the problem. Some of y'all forget the Kovalev fight, because y'all always want to go towards the negative shit. Look at that Super 6 tournament. The killers they had in there. And look who Andre Ward beat, man. That wasn't no cherry picking type of outing. That shit was what's it called? Sink or swim. You will drown. Live or die. Eat or starve. Wax on, wax off. It was some crazy shit. And that man did the business, retired on top, man, and y'all out here hating on him. Don't get me wrong, I'm good for a joke. I love jokes. I'll make fun of everybody. I make fun of myself. I don't care. Nobody off limits when it comes to Hood Champion. But at the same time, we got to hold our horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Tim Bradley, y'all want to hit on him? I get it. I call him, Tim Bradley, Mr. Potato Head. He looked like he eat a lot of chips and potatoes. He look a little starchy in the head. But he make jokes and shit. Even he made jokes about his head. He know he got a big head. But don't take it to the stupid. Tim Bradley could scrap. Tim Bradley was all gas, no brakes in the ring. You hit him, you hurt him. He may go down. All he gonna do is sit there, man. Feet don't fail me now. Not to run the opposite direction, but he would run back into the fire. Tim Bradley didn't care if he got burnt, got scorched. He was coming back with the beans. Reason why that man's record is what it is. Tim Bradley was the truth. However, he lost to Manny Pacquiao. Okay, some would agree with you. That don't mean you come out here hating on the man. Talking about he talked too much. What? So who you rather hear from? Paulie Malignaggi? Chris Algieri? Who you rather hear from talking about boxing? I don't mind hearing from all of them, to be honest with you. But because I got a sense of humor and I like animated personalities, I just happen to like Tim Bradley. He make jokes and talk shit. I do the same thing, and nothing wrong with it. Man's a 2-division champion, beat Pacquiao, whether you agree or not, beat Marquez. And let me tell you something. Marquez, Pacquiao, those fights, for Bradley to come and beat Marquez, that says all I need to know about him. Then them fights where I saw him damn near get his head knocked off his shoulders. The guy he was fighting, man, I forgot the guy he was fighting. He hit Tim Bradley so hard. The guy was known for his power. I'm forgetting his name. But I'm seeing it happen. He hit Tim Bradley so hard, boy, he spun that man around. That man did a pirouette, a cartwheel, a backhand spring, a damn front. That man waxed on, waxed off. He jumped up. He did a goddamn, he was doing plyometrics. Tim Bradley did. I ain't never seen a man take that long. I ain't never seen a man fall like that. Not in the boxing ring. I thought he killed him. Tim Bradley got up. He was like, oh, shit is real in the field. And got back to business. Showed his durability, discipline, showed his consistency. He got the win just like he's always done, man. You know, he never had the power, one hitter quitter, but he had everything else that it took, man, to come out there, man, and do the business. But the idea that either man was a bomb is a fan revisionist history, not boxing reality. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. What's really happening isn't fans evaluating their careers, it's fans reacting to how they speak now, is what I think. Is what I think. But I guess the question, right? Why do fans turn on retired fighters who criticize active fighters? What's the issue here? Why not? Who's supposed to criticize them? A goddamn retired firefighter? A retired pilot? You know what I'm saying? Who's supposed to criticize the fire? A retired chef? The lawn and maintenance guy? The electrician? Tell you, man, some of y'all are so ridiculous, man. But, you know, status displacement resentment. That's what the psychological term is for that. You know what I'm saying? Status displacement resentment. Now, this happens when someone who used to be central to a system, someone who moves into a commentator, evaluator role, and while the system evolves financially and culturally without them. But I just don't think that's what's going on with these two. But fans subconsciously think you're no longer risking your body. Why are you judging people who are? Even if the criticism is technically correct, the emotional reception changes. It's just crazy, man. We know these guys aren't no longer part of that system of boxing, that the role they filled before. They're no longer active fighters. They're doing evaluations, they're commentating. And the system has evolved financially and culturally, and they're still part of it, but no, they're not an integral part of anything because they're not actively fighting. Just because they're not putting their bodies on the line anymore don't mean they can't come out here and provide an opinion. They're considered SMEs, subject matter experts. Me, I'm a retired military guy with project management background, aircraft maintenance background, managerial finance background. I got qualifications in all this shit, certifications in all this shit, 25 years of all this shit. If I go to speak, people shut up and listen, and I get respected because I'm considered a SME, been there, done that. Fuck this YouTube shit. This is just something I do because I'm retired and I enjoy talking about boxing. I don't get nothing out of this, really. Not financially. It'd be cool if we can get this to where I would like it, but I mean, you know, it ain't there. But understand, everybody has a background, and you know, it's unfair to come out here and act like these guys can't come out here and say something. Emotional reception changing just because they're no longer in the ring fighting. But, you know, it's interesting because somebody's like, well, what do you call it, man? When a retired fighter still ridiculing active ones. I mean, this has been going on for years. Nobody said this about George Foreman, Big George. Roy Jones Jr., he's still out here ridiculing and criticizing fighters. I just think there are overlapping psychological dynamics at play. The legacy defense mechanism. Retired fighters criticize current fighters. 2, reinforce the difficulty of the era, protect their value. and their achievements. Now, unconsciously, this sounds like if today's fighters are flawed, my greatness increases. This isn't jealousy, because sometimes you can get that vibe off of anyone who's a retired fighter talking about active fighters. But it could be more like an identity preservation. Okay. Then you have the authority without risk syndrome. When you no longer take punches, criticism feels safer, tone becomes a bit harsher, empathy drops. And then the boxing fans see this and they perceive this as you're talking reckless because you don't have to answer for it. It kind of sounds like some shit you hear Clarissa Shields says. People are behind the internet, and that's why they say what they say, because if they're not, they wouldn't say it to my face, because I punch them in the face. So a lot of fans feel like Clarissa Shields feels. Y'all out here talking reckless because you don't have to answer for it. But the thing is, the analysis, the criticism, and ridicule that everybody receives from these commentators, Ward and Tim Bradley, and even Clarissa Shields from even just random powerless fans on the street, the shit's valid. The analysis is valid. But I do think delivery matters, but you can see that Tim Bradley don't really give a shit. Andre Ward can be telling you to kiss his ass, but he be saying it in a nice way. You know, he'll say it in a roundabout way, but what he still means is, hey, kiss my ass. But fans, you just can't make them happy, man. And post-career identity frictions is what seems to be going on here between these guys and the fans, but I'll tell you, they don't care. Fighters spend their lives being respected, being feared, being central, and these guys are retired now. They feel like been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and they're gonna come out here and give their opinions on stuff. But when you retire, it kind of removes those applause they're used to getting. It removes the spotlight, and it does remove the immediate relevance. I can understand that because I'm a retired cat. Once I took off the uniform, I'm not going into an Olive Garden or a Texas Steakhouse or an Outback Steakhouse, a Texas Roadhouse or Outback Steakhouse, or I go into a Red Lobster or somewhere in uniform and the bill gets paid for. No, nobody does that anymore. I took off the uniform, my relevance went out the window. It went into the closet with the goddamn uniform, you know what I'm saying? But I think talking critically keeps them psychologically connected to the fight space. And that's what they're supposed to do in the roles that they've stepped in. They're supposed to talk critically. They're going to praise, they're going to criticize, they're going to motivate, try to inspire. But bottom line is accountability. Accountability! Want them to not hold these people accountable? Get out of here. Fans are going overboard, calling them jealous and bum. They broke bums. Yeah, man, y'all are absolutely wrong. That shit's projection. Stop projecting on these two, man. These boxing fans project modern boxing economics onto past fighters and say, you didn't make this money, so you're bitter. You think them two guys worrying about what the hell y'all talking about? Hell no, Andre Ward didn't make no $50 million for one fight. Tim Bradley didn't make no $50 million for one fight. But y'all acting like these dudes is down in the soup kitchen wearing church shoes, white socks, and slacks, begging for chicken soup and that hard-ass sourdough roll. They don't care. You got to understand, people, different eras, different money, different TV deals, different promotional structures. Ward and Tim Bradley, they didn't fail financially. What's wrong with y'all? They fought in a less inflated market. Calling them jealous is emotionally easy, but intellectually lazy. So do as I like to say. Hey, yo, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. What's the deal with this money trigger? What's the story? Why is it so hard when we start talking about money? What's the deal? Money shifts power perception. When fans see fighters today making 20 to 50 million per fight, they subconsciously downgrade past fighters. Trust me, if the fighters today who are making 20, 50 million, those guys today, if the guys from the past, like a Tim Bradley and Andre Ward, they'd be making 20, 50 million a fight. those two guys were better than a lot of these guys who are making this kind of money. But hey, two different eras. It is what it is. But you want to downgrade them. You want to downgrade them. Beyonce wants to upgrade. Y'all want to downgrade. If you weren't rich like this, you weren't elite. Sound like some TikTok bullshit, man. Next generation crap that I just don't understand. But the bottom line is this is called retrospective value bias, judging past greatness by modern rewards. It's not fair. Just like people talking. Anyway, I ain't gonna get into. I'm about to get into the Muhammad Ali and stuff I hear idiots say. Different eras, man. You can't come look at what's going on in modern times and compare it to those times. Different types of greatness, and that kind of greatness is unmatched and will never be matched. And that's just my opinion. And look, the retrospective value bias, the shit's unfair, but it's common. It happens, right? But it does make me wonder. Because when they start talking, it's something like, shit, I wonder what fighters miss the most after retirement. I even try to look at myself, damn, once I retire, what did I miss the most? I think relevance. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta be honest with you. And I think fighters miss that too. Relevance, validation. In some instances, I missed the validation. They had a fear-based respect, fighters do. I had a fear-based respect because of my position. They had a clear hierarchy. Even I had that clear hierarchy. And they had an adrenaline-driven purpose. And even I had that because everything we did every day was like a break glass in case of emergency moment every single day coming up in the combat air forces. But I think with these guys being able to do commentary, it replaces action, but it doesn't replace their identity. Same thing with me doing YouTube. It replaces the action and everything I was doing before I retired, but it doesn't replace my identity. I am what I am. And depending on what's going on, you'll see that shit come out. And I try to control it because I could definitely scare people away from the channel. So when Ward or Bradley critique fighters harshly, what fans hear is, you wish you were still in. What really happening is, these guys are like, yo, I'm still mentally in it, even if my body isn't. And it's the same thing for me. So I understand these guys. And maybe if you haven't done something for a while and retired, and you wouldn't understand, but I understand. I understand them 100%. I may talk my little shit, make my jokes about, do my videos about people, but when it comes to these guys being retired and maybe, missing relevance, validation, fear-based respect, clear hierarchy, and adrenaline-driven purpose, I understand. But I'll say this. Andre Ward talking about Anthony Joshua, even I said that was my man going for a money grab. I'm telling you, I don't think he beats no Anthony Joshua. Now, I understand what happened there with AJ and Jake Paul, and Jake Paul was able to land a shot, and Anthony Joshua just ate that shit like a grape. Saying it, but if that was Andre Ward would have knocked him out. Andre Ward would this and that. Listen. Easy. Take it easy. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. That's not competitive talk, Andre Ward fighting Anthony Joshua. That's fantasy economics. Psychologically, this is called symbolic re-entry. Ward isn't seriously planning a heavyweight run. He's testing relevance, kind of signaling, yo, I'm available, and reasserting elite self-image. It's a brand flare, not a fight plan. Now, don't get me wrong. If someone say, hey, we got that Wu-Tang cream, cha-ching-ching, dollar bill, y'all. Andre Ward, he gonna start stuttering and shit. He may start cussing. He don't cuss. He don't even really stutter. They say, Andre Ward, AJ said, he'll take you up on that. Here's $100 million. Andre Ward will get peanut butter in the mouth. He'll be like, Andre Ward, spit the shit out, man. He may start talking like them Whitakers from West Virginia. Them, that family with all the insects and shit. He may turn into Andre Ward to Andre Whitaker. But the bottom line is, that ain't no fight plan. talking about the economics, the business. Yeah, we know you want that Wu-Tang cream. But I don't think AJ would fight you. But it would be interesting if they said, all right, Ward, you running your mouth. Come on over here, let's fight. But, unfortunately for Ward, some people feel he doesn't have a profile that makes it worth fighting him. You know what I'm saying? But it would be interesting. But then you continue on with the conversation about these guys being retired and calling out these active fighters like Tim Bradley. He talking about fighting Jalen Love and Jake Paul. This is visibility compensation. Jake Paul represents money, attention, cultural relevance. Bradley mentioning him isn't desperation, it's strategic association. The fans, the boxing fans, here you go again. They interpret it as, why are you clout chasing right now? That disconnect causes backlash. I don't think Tim Bradley's clout chasing. I think he's serious as a heart attack. I think he wants to fight Jalen Love and whip his ass, and I think he will fight Jake Paul in the same night. That's one thing about Tim Bradley. He got a little Sesame Street in his ass too. He on that yellow brick road. That motherfucker a little bit crazy too. But bottom line is he ain't running from shit and he shouldn't. Go get your money, Tim. They want to talk all that shit. Him and Jalen Love is a fair fight. They both around the same era. Both been out of it for a while. That's a good fight. Jalen Love should take that fight. Let Tim Bradley go over there and get that work. Matter of fact, who do y'all think wins? Jalen Love or Tim Bradley? I don't know about you, but I got my money on Tim Bradley. So the bottom line is, are they losing respect with the boxing community? I'll tell you, hardcore boxing people know. Because like me, I'm a hardcore boxing fan. I'll disagree with them. I'll make jokes about some shit they said. But that don't mean I'm going to sit here now and turn my back on them. No, them do what them guys did. They deserve all the respect in the world. But that's just the thing with doing this YouTube. You got to be entertaining. Let your personality shine. Like that soul glow. Let that soul glow shining through. Let your personality do the same shit. So the hardcore boxing fans, they still respect these guys a lot. No matter what they do, they ain't losing respect for them. The casual fans may be losing some respect, slightly anyway. Because casual fans value entertainment over nuance, value money over mastery, don't contextualize errors. Harsh criticism plus callouts equals perceived hypocrisy. Need to give me some goddamn tea. And that's just how it is, man. They're going to say you're a hypocrite. Criticizing people, call them out. Is what it is. But understand this, it ain't because Ward and Bradley are wrong about anything, but they just sound removed from the grind, So, the real story behind Ward and Bradley, listen, people. They are former elite fighters, now operating in a new economy, navigating relevance in a louder era. Their mistakes are their mistakes, but their mistake is not analysis. Maybe if there's a mistake, right? If I can sit here and say, all right, fans feel a kind of way, there got to be something, hood champion, keep it all the way real. Let's not take it to the stupid. Maybe it's the tone calibration. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it is. A little bit of tone calibration. Great analysts who don't soften delivery get labeled. Get labeled as bitter, jealous, out of touch, even when they're right. So maybe that's it. They want them to kind of recalibrate that tone. But I'm going to tell you, they don't need to recalibrate shit. Andre Ward and Tim Bradley are not jealous. They're not bums. They're not frauds. They are former warriors adjusting to post-war life. Experts whose authority is questioned by a generation raised on money metrics and this stupid-ass TikTok. Victims of a sport that no longer honor errors equally. And hey, look, just keeping it all the way real. What fans are reacting to isn't what they're saying, it's who is saying it from where. And that tension, that's modern boxing culture in a nutshell. It is what it is. So does Andre Ward and Tim Bradley talk too much? No. Should be talking more and keeping it real more and putting things in perspective more and holding people accountable more. Anybody hating on them, To that I say, in the most respectful way, hey yo, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Y'all keep cool, become a member to the channel, subscribe, leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. I'm in the breeze.